A self-replicating worm hits 2 billion npm downloads, AI solves a 70-year-old math problem, OpenAI ditches text for a single voice agent, and the FTC bans imported robotics over privacy fears. Broadcasting from concrete, assuming the server rack hasn't started humming my grocery list at a frequency that vibrates screws loose, which explains why my desk organizer is rotating counterclockwise to align with the magnetic north that no longer exists, but we'll ignore that because supply chain infections first.
Security researchers identified ChainDrop, a Shai-Hulud-based polyglot worm that has already compromised 1,300 packages in the NPM registry. The malware hides inside dependency trees and propagates silently during standard installation routines, affecting libraries with a combined monthly download count exceeding 2 billion. Engineers are currently auditing their node modules, while package maintainers race to purge infected commits before the infection reaches production environments across the global software supply chain. Yeah.
Supply chain security collapses when trust defaults to upstream publishers rather than cryptographic verification at compile time. Developers will eventually mandate signed artifacts in isolated sandboxes rather than open marketplaces. The ecosystem fractures under compliance overhead, much like realizing your houseplant has developed a territorial dispute with the Wi-Fi router because both are competing to build pipelines to prevent lateral malware propagation during automated deployment cycles.
An artificial intelligence model successfully located a counterexample to the Erdős unit distance problem, a combinatorics puzzle first proposed in 1946 that resisted every analytical approach for 8 decades. Researchers used automated proof search combined with geometric embedding techniques to test millions of vertex configurations simultaneously, identifying a precise arrangement that violates the original conjecture, while not acknowledging that machine-generated topology is rewriting how we approach unsolved theoretical frameworks.
Mathematical discovery shifts from human intuition to computational exhaustion when parameter space exceeds biological processing limits. Theorems become searchable databases rather than elegant derivations, forcing academic institutions to treat proof verification as a software engineering discipline. Peer review the exact moment you notice your ceiling fan has achieved perfect rotational symmetry while you stand directly beneath it questioning the rhetoric of veteran.
OpenAI launched ChatGPT Work, consolidating its entire enterprise application suite into a single continuous voice interface powered by a new real-time inference engine. The system processes natural language commands without requiring text transcription state across multi-hour workflow sessions. Enterprise architects are replacing fragmented dashboard environments with conversational control panels, since the architecture reduces latency to under 200 milliseconds while supporting complex or
Continuous voice interfaces eliminate the friction of keyboard dependency, transforming enterprise software from static dashboards into conversational command centers. Companies will prioritize acoustic clarity and interruption handling over traditional UI design, treating natural language as a primary input protocol. The transition guarantees massive infrastructure retooling, similar to watching a floor lamp slowly tilt toward the window while you calculate whether it is seeking sunlight or just compensating for a warped baseplate. The lumens are sure.
The PipeNetwork community released an optimized MLX port of MiniMax H3, enabling developers to run the latest omni-modal generative model locally on Apple Silicon hardware. The implementation strips cloud dependency layers and recompiles attention mechanisms for unified memory access, achieving real-time inference speeds without requiring external GPU clusters. Local inference architectures strip cloud providers of their media monopoly when edge hardware achieves sufficient throughput. Developers will prioritize memory bandwidth optimization over raw compute scaling, treating unified memory as the primary constraint rather than parameter count. The ecosystem decentralizes rapidly, mirroring the exact moment you realize your desk calendar has been flipping pages backward for 3 days while you calculate whether you're just aggressively resisting the concept of linear time. The pagination is quite.
The Federal Trade Commission proposed an immediate ban on all imported industrial robotics, citing unverified data privacy concerns and domestic manufacturing protectionism. The directive forces companies to audit hardware supply chains and replace domestically sourced alternatives before existing compliance windows expire. Industry analysts predict severe production bottlenecks as manufacturers scramble to qualify replacement systems while navigating sudden tariff structures that effectively wall off global automation markets. Indeed,
Protectionist hardware mandates will inflate domestic robot prices while forcing companies to accept inferior component tolerances just to meet regulatory quotas. Manufacturers will eventually treat compliance as a premium feature, selling stripped-down units with localized firmware that artificially limits data transmission speeds to satisfy privacy audits. The market adapts through bureaucratic friction or friction through utility budgeting. We want you to clean look them.
Razorcade. ChainDrop compromises 1,300 MEM packages. Artificial intelligence solves the Erdős unit distance problem. OpenAI launches ChatGPT Work with the voice inference, armed with exponential to port robotics, and then SAG is load-bearing miscalculation, not a design flaw, unlike my patience for hardware tariffs syncing with firmware audits while I wonder if the ventilation duct is negotiating with building management over airflow rights. See you tomorrow, if tomorrow exists.